Hello everyone. So today in this video we are going to discuss about important multiple choice questions on this particular topic, insect integument. So basically whatever the things are there in insect integument, like what is cuticle, what is epidermis, what is basement membrane, different glands of epidermis, then your different layers of cuticle, epi, pro, exo, endocuticle and all those things we'll discuss. Okay, apart from that, what is chitin, what is the chemical composition, who is given the term, and what are the different proteins, all those things we'll discuss about insect integument. Okay, not the moltings, not the outgrowth, not the invagination, only insect integument part we will discuss in this video. You see, this insect integument is days in origin. Okay, generally you see three kind of origins are there. One is ectodermal outside, mesodermal middle, endodermal inside. Yes or no? Huh? So this insect integument, that is from ectodermal origin. Okay, the answer will be your ectodermal in origin. Next question, you see, how many layers are there in an insect integument? How many layers are there? 3 layers are there. Yes or no? Huh? So what are those 3 layers? Those 3 layers are your outer cuticle, middle epidermis and your inner basement membrane. Okay, so like this what will happen, 3 layers will be there in an insect integument. Next one, you see, which one is the only cellular layer of integument? Okay, so the answer will be your epidermis. Okay, because epidermis is the only layer where cells will be associated, cells are there, that is the only living layer or only cellular layer. Okay, similar question, you see, which among the following is not the non-living layer of integument? Very important, which is not the non-living. That means in integument how many layers are there? 3 are there. Out of that, which are non-living, which is not having the cell? Your cuticle and basement membrane. So which is not the non-living layer? Definitely again the answer will be your epidermis. Yes or no? Huh? Epidermis is not the non-living layer, that means it is the living layer. You see, next question is, basement membrane is formed from the which cells? Okay, they are formed from what? Your option B is the right answer, that is your degenerated epidermal cells. Okay, from this what will happen, your basement membrane will be formed. Next one, you see, thickness of basement membrane. This is also important question. Okay, what is the thickness of this basement membrane? Okay, so nearly about 0.5 micron is the thickness of the basement membrane. Then coming to the next question, epidermis is formed from. Okay, that means you see basement membrane is formed from the degenerated epidermal cells. Like that, epidermis is formed from which cells? That is also important, that is your polygonal cells. Okay, from the polygonal cells epidermis is formed. So option A is your right answer. Then you see, this is also a very important question. You see, in epidermis different kind of cells are there. Yes or no? So those cells are held together by means of some certain cytoplasmic processes. That means whatever the adjacent epidermal cells are there, they will be linked with each other by some cytoplasmic processes, which is known as what? Okay, and what is the answer? Answer will be your option B, that is your Desmosomes. Okay, those are the links which will holding those epidermal cells together. Next, you see, cuticle is secreted by what? So many things are there which is secreted by epidermis. Similarly, this cuticle also what your secreted by this epidermis only. So the answer will be your option A. Next, you see, cement layer is produced by which cells? Okay, you see, in epidermis what will happen, there are some gland like dermal gland, which is also known as Burson's gland in case of caterpillar. Then this molting gland, peristigmatic glands, so many are there. Okay, so here what happens, this option C, dermal glands, they produce the cement layer. Cement layer is produced by which gland? That is your dermal gland. Very important, generally this question comes in the exam. You see, the main body of this setae is formed by what? You see, we have discussed about setae where 2 kind of cells were there. One is trichogen cell, another one is termogen cell. Yes or no? So what is the trichogen cell? The cell which is constituting the main body of this setae or the hair-like outgrowth. Yes or no? Huh? So the option will be your option B, that is your Trichogen cells. But if the question will be like this, which cell is making this duct of this setae, that means which is making the outer covering of this particular setae, then the answer will be your what? Option C, Termogen cell. That means Trichogen cell is making the body of the setae, Termogen cell is making the duct of the setae. Next you see peristigmatic gland, again present in the epidermis. Okay, in which insects? Dipteran insect like your housefly, then your mosquito, horsefly, rubberfly, they will come under dipteran. What is maggots? Maggots means what? These are the larva stage of the dipteran insect. Okay, in the larval stages or immature stages of the dipteran insect, okay, peristigmatic gland is there. So what is the question you see? The question is present near which appendages? Okay, in the wings, legs, spiracle or antenna? Your option will be your answer will be your option C, that is your spiracle. Okay, near spiracle what will happen? These peristigmatic glands will be there. In which insect? Dipteran maggots, immature stage of the dipteran insects. Now you see chitin is absent in which layer? You see chitin is mainly present in cuticle. Yes or no? So in cuticle what happens? You see in the cuticle two layers are there, epicuticle, procuticle. Procuticle again divided into what? Your exocuticle and endocuticle. So chitin is absent in which layer? You see in epicuticle what happens? Chitin won't be there. So the answer will be your option A, where chitin is absent. Okay, in exocuticle, endocuticle, combinedly procuticle, chitin will be present. Very, very important, generally comes in the exam. Next you see, what is the thickness of your epicuticle? This is also a very, very important questions on numerical basis, otherwise not that much important, but still you should remember the thickness of the epicuticle. Sometimes if required it may come in the exam. Okay, you say first one you try to remember what is the thickness of basement membrane, that was your 0.5 micron. But in case of epicuticle you see what is the answer? Option B. Okay, 1 to 4 micron is the answer. That means the thickness of the epicuticle. Okay, next one you see cement layer is also known as what? You see different names are there, like cement layer is what? That is also known as what? Your option B, that is your tectocuticle. Similarly, wax layer is also known as what? You see options are waterproof layer, tectocuticle, lipid epicuticle. Here you see the most probable answer is your waterproof layer, but A is the option is the lipid epicuticle. So the answer will be your both A and C. Okay, so the answer will be your option D, both A and C. It is also known as waterproof layer because it prevents the moisture loss, and also known as lipid epicuticle. Okay, so you see the next question is dash layer is responsible for hardening of the cuticle. This is also a very, very important one. Okay, and the answer will be your polyphenol layer. They are responsible for what? Your hardening of the cuticle. Next one you see dash layer act as a growth barrier. Here the answer will be your cuticulin layer. Very, very important. Answer will be your cuticulin layer. So here one more question I want to add. Which layer is formed at the end of this molting process? The answer will be your cement layer. Then which layer is formed during the molting process at the beginning? That is your cuticulin layer. Okay, so this layer acts as what? Your growth barrier. Which layer? Option D, cuticulin layer. Next one you see dash protein is abundant in exocuticle. Exocuticle means which protein? Option A, sclerotin. In endocuticle which protein is there? Arthropodin. Then this you see one more option is there, that is your resilin. Okay, resilin present in which area? In this membranous joints like your ligaments. Okay, wing aperture or leg aperture, antenna aperture. There what will happen? Your resilin will be present. Next you see water soluble and non-tan protein. Okay, water soluble and non-tan protein, that is present in which one? That protein is known as what? Your arthropodin. Yes or no? Water insoluble and tan protein, that is your sclerotin. Arthropodin constitute dash percentage of the cuticle. Very, very important. You see, don't get confused in between 25 to 37 and 25 to 60. because arthropodin constitute 25 to 37% of the cuticle. But if you see this chitin, okay, chitin constitute 25 to 60% of this cuticle. That one you have to remember. Arthropodin means less, that is your 25 to 37. Chitin is more, and that is your 25 to 60% of this cuticle. Then what is the chemical formula of this chitin? This is also very, very important. Okay, you see that the answer will be your option B, that is C8H13O5N in bracket X. Chemical formula of chitin. Chitin is named by whom? The scientist. The answer will be your option B, that is your Odier, in which year? 1834. Both the year and the scientist name is important. Next you see, chitin is a nitrogenous polysaccharide made up of dash and dash in dash and dash ratio. Okay, we should know that these are what your nitrogenous polysaccharides. So definitely what? N-acetyl will be there, yes or no? Huh? You see, N-acetyl D-glucosamine and glucosamine unit, you see dash and dash, yes or no? Huh? N-acetyl D-glucosamine and glucosamine unit in dash ratio, whether 5:1 or 6:1. Which ratio? The answer will be your option C, that is your N-acetyl D-glucosamine and glucosamine unit in 6:1 ratio. That is your answer. Option C is the right answer. Next one you see, chitin nitrogen polysaccharides are linked by dash linkages. Which linkages? 1 for beta glycosidic linkages. So the option will be your option B. The answer will be your option B, 1 for beta glycosidic linkages. Next you see, chitin is synthesized by which layer? The answer will be your option B, epidermis. Okay, from epidermis chitin will be synthesized. What is the specific gravity of chitin in weight by volume? The answer will be your option B, that is your 1.4. Next you see, what is the stretchability? That means stretching ability of chitin. If you stretch, how much we can stretch that one? Okay, in mm. The answer will be your 13 mm. Okay, 13 mm is the stretching ability of this chitin. Dash chitin is the most stable one. The answer will be your alpha chitin. Okay, remember, alpha chitin is the most stable chitin. Okay. Then chitin is soluble in what? You see, chitin is insoluble in so many things. It may be like your water, okay, alcohol, organic solvents, dilute acids and concentrated alkalis. But it is only soluble in two things. What are those? One is concentrated mineral acids, another one is sodium hypochlorite. Sodium hypochlorite is the most recommended one. Okay, so the answer will be what? Both A and B. Very, very important. Chitin is soluble in both concentrated mineral acids and sodium hypochlorite, but sodium hypochlorite is the most important one. Okay. Next you see, protein present in exocuticle. Which protein is present in the exocuticle? This is also very, very important. That is your sclerotin. Which one is endocuticle? That will be your arthropodin. Which one is in the joints, ligaments and membranes of your leg, antenna and wing? The answer will be your resilin. That is the also known as elastic or stretching protein. Next you see, what is the diameter of pore canal? Pore canal diameter is your how much? That is your 0.15 to 1 micro. So this is all about this important MCQs of your integument. Okay, I have tried to cover it very quickly because 40 questions were there, nearly about 40 questions were there. So I have tried to go somewhat speed. If required, you can pause and see this video to understand properly. Okay, and I hope you understood something. It may be helpful for you in different exams. One more thing, I always tell that one, if any kind of suggestion you want to give, you can give me in the comment box. Okay, so thank you. Have a nice day.